hot there. And the people just think it's gang activity. No, it's not, it's weapons. Jamaica, Trinidad, Guyana, Barbados, weapons.
My step grandpa was Trinidad.
Yeah, okay. Like in the 90s, that's when they turned on the weapons in the Caribbean. Haiti, gangs, that's how you see the weapons at work. Gangs and the best person to talk to about that, Big Ace. Your turn to come in.
I'll go back. Let me bounce around for a minute. I'm gonna hit where they was just saying how he could look you dead in the eye and won't say nothing. That's what we call being stuck. Program how it see, it's names for everything this stuff do, and nobody's exempt, and everybody goes through this stuff. I mean, everybody. Some people just don't realize what it is. A lot of people just don't realize what it is, and to demonstrate how that they don't realize what it is, just look at the world. Everything is gonna come. This program sets the tone of the country. It sets the tone through the behavior of the people. And when it sets the tone through the behavior of the people, that's when you're gonna see everything is gonna come in the millions. Robbery, rape, murder. Look at the music industry. Just take it by storm. Look what's going on. I've been talking about this for a long time, some decades. But you know what? I had to wait for the people to catch up. I had to almost do this and just wait for it to fall in my lap. Now it's here, it fell in my lap. It fell in my lap a couple of weeks ago through the music industry. And I just said, and I was patient, I just waited, and here it is. Here it is. Ain't nowhere around it. Like I say, it's on every segment, corporate, music, movie and film. It's on the kids, it's on the babies.
Yeah.
This thing is a beast. It's a name for this thing. They try to, it's different terms and different names that they calling this stuff, like targeted individuals. Targeted individuals is the same thing we're talking about. It's millions of people around the whole world that's talking about the same thing. But what we need to do is we need a platform where we can bring it all into one, because it's scattered. Everybody's talking about it. This person in New York don't know me. This person overseas don't know me, but it's going on overseas. It's going on in New York. And we just got to put it out there the right way. So you take, what's that, Renita, in Cuba?
You're muted.
Yeah, it's called the Havana syndrome. Same thing.
The Havana syndrome.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay. I've been talking about this for decades.
That's when they aim the weapons at the head to cause brain damage. I've been talking about
this for decades, but I was just not talking about it. I was talking about it. I was educated through this stuff because it actually was on me in a place that gets everybody's attention, called the ADX Federal Supermax. Some of your biggest names are there. El Chapo, Larry Hoover. Some of your biggest names is in that place. And that's where I discovered it being on me. And once I discovered it was on me in solitary confinement, they was trying to take me out with, man. I had to learn this stuff. I had to learn it was war in there. I had to literally sit and take all the torture through it and learn the different torture techniques that they use against you with it. And see, when When you understand that this thing comes through the audio cortex, when you understand that it comes through the visual cortex, when you understand that it clones on to the audio cortex, the visual cortex, the sense of taste, touch, smell, this is when it gets real. This is when you understand how this program is able to capitalize and actually mimics you all day, all around the clock. It never cuts off because it comes through the visual cortex. It sees what you see. It hears what you hear. We're dealing with cybernetics. We're dealing with AI. EEG cloning, hive mind, transhumanism. That's AI is the future. And this is how they plan it. This is how they plan this, man. This is running the world. This is how they run the world, through this technology.
Big Ace, I just want to jump in there really quick. I know people that have watched my stuff have heard it before, but I just wanted to share it with you. I was 14 years old and I lived in a town that had the region's biggest Canadian broadcasting system tower in it. And my mom was driving the school bus and I was about 13 or 14 years old. And I started hearing this man's voice in my head and it was just, you should kill yourself. You should go. And my mom is driving my school bus and I'm looking at her and all I can hear is this man going, you should kill yourself. You should kill yourself. Go home and kill yourself. And I literally went home and took my stepdad's rifle off the wall, put it in my mouth. And the neighbor girl came to borrow a Nintendo game and shook me out of whatever was going on. But I was literally about to exit this existence because of something that was speaking to me in my head. It wasn't until recently that I put all of the alignment together, like this place had kidnappings, hostage takings, suicides, and it was a small town, like I mean a rural town, and the amount of anomalies that were violent just do not make sense.
Do you know how many people in this world go through what you just explained and take the easy way out and go boom? How many people in this world that walks into the schools and go boom? How many people in this world that walks into the Walmart? I told you this thing comes, it sets the trends. People don't just wake up and go shoot up no school. People don't just wake up and walk into Walmarts and shoot up Walmarts. This is new stuff in the new millennium, basically. This is program behavior at its finest. It's thought steering.
Yeah,
It's thought steering. And
I was about to say something. Can I interject really quickly?
go ahead.
All right. So three people you wanna know, okay, who are the masterminds behind this technology, okay? Robert Duncan, okay? Robert Duncan.
There you go.
Ewan Cameron, he was up in Canada. You should know who he is. And then
There
the
you go.
most important one who created this beast system for the 21st century is Colonel Michael Aquino, Mind Wars. Okay? Because they said that warfare should not be like battlefields with tanks and planes. They said the war of the 21st century is here.
I did.
The battle space is the mind. Okay? So, because the audience might be new to this, these are the three people. And also think about Fritz Springmeier. Read all of his books. Even though you may not be religious, he has a religious tint to it. But in his books will give you some of the old ways they laid the mind control. The mind control today is all Michael Aquino and the World Economic Forum, Yuval Noah Harari. And there's another one who's he's actually the most horrific of them all. He's oh God, I think he's a professor at damn, I can't remember his name. He goes into what's attribution. His favorite word is attribution, which is you're dead. You know, when we attribute the target, you're done for, okay? But I can't remember his name. So these are some of the names you want. So Robert Duncan, Ewan Cameron, Colonel Michael Aquino, to study about this program, Fritz Springmeier. Okay, so these are the basis. This, if you want to understand this program, you got to get into their reading material. Okay, now who built the infrastructure for the program? The infrastructure for the program was built by former NSA chief. Shit, I just forgot his name. Damn, they're blacking out my mind. Okay, he was a former NSA. They turned on him. Like when he came out about this program, they turned on him. But he actually built the program for terrorists. And the program was hijacked by a certain group, the group who's running it now, and then they turned it on the world's population. Okay? I'm gonna remember his name. His name is former NSA, let me look him up. Former NSA, sorry about that, guys.
Yeah, I actually saw something in my scrolling the other day that relates to this. I've never shared my screen, so I'm gonna give this a try.
Yeah.
Just 1 second here.
Mm. Okay, William Binney. William Binney. Okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, these are some of the names that you need to look into. So William Binney. William Binney built the technology. You don't mind if I continue talking, right?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so William Binney is the one who actually built the technology for the digital prison. But he didn't build it for us, he built it for alleged terrorists. The system that was built by the NSA was taken, and they steal everything and weaponize it, and then weaponized and then turned as a weapon on the entire planet. The one who actually built the program, like the infrastructure, the internal mechanism of how it runs, is Colonel Michael Aquino and Dr. Robert Duncan. These are the two you need to look into. Okay, let's talk about things like hearing voices, okay? You are not schizophrenic when you hear voices in the 21st century. Let me say this again. You are not schizophrenic if you hear voices in the 21st century. I have to say this again, okay? You are not schizophrenic if you hear voices in the 21st century, okay? The reason...
I'm gonna say this one word, and then I'm gonna send it back to you. But it's important right now to get this in where you're at right now before we lose it. See, this program has to start somewhere, and where it starts is the alleged voices, the alleged sounds. Because everything is biofeedback. Like I tell you, this thing clones on, it's wireless. Get that to your head. It's wireless and it clones on to your frequency. Everybody has a frequency. And it clones on to your frequency. It clones on to your senses. The hearing, the touch, the taste, the smell, the sight. It clones on. And through the hearing, you can hear it, it can hear you. It sees what you see, it hears what you hear. You hear them. So this is how they get it to you. It's biofeedback technology. And it always starts with the alleged voices, but the voices is not voices. Guess what? It's a program. Back to you, Renita.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, you can see what I'm sharing or no?
Yeah, that's perfect. That's exactly what's going on.
Yeah, that goes back to 1974.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people are just saying, like, this might be a possibility now, though they've had it since the 70s.
What's that?
Like,
the
skull.
The V2K, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But see, everything is tiny. Everything is
no. The V2K is older. When they started playing with radio waves.
Exactly.
It's earlier. That's the 1800s, and that's the British. Go ahead.
See, the more this is talked about, and the more that this gets out, but they gotta hear it from the right people like us. Everything this thing do, how it targets the stomach, the gut, how it targets you with the migraines, the sound effects, the nervous system, how it hits you, how it shuts down your encroaches on your saliva glands, your whole gland system. When people hear us speak, they understand and they begin to realize that, hey, this is what this been all along.
I wanna come in and say this. So let's get into the technology, right? So when it clones your senses, your sight, your hearing, your taste, touch, feel, even your ESP, okay, extrasensory perception, like your
All
psychic
of that.
abilities,
All
okay?
of that. All of
Yeah.
that.
So the touch is called haptic technology. Haptic, okay? That's when it's cloning your touch, okay? Because everything is a frequency, right? How they start is they have to clone the brain, the signals. Everyone's brain emits a signal outside of the brain.
Signals.
Okay, this is why they want you with a cell phone. Why? Because the cell phones are designed to clone your brain. Via when you interact with the cell phone, it is literally cloning your brain as you interact with it, okay? So that is how they build the EEG heterodyne. You see all the heart attacks that's taking place? That's
Heart attacks.
EKG heterodyne. It is literally an AI technology taking people out.
Kill you in your sleep.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
people are dying, and it's doing so via their cell phones. It's doing so via their Wi-Fi. Okay, let's look at Pfizer. The federal government reauthorized Pfizer, and Trump was no better. When they were trying to get that Pfizer without a warrant, they wanted the feds to have a warrant in order to put you into these programs. President Trump shut it down and reauthorized warrantless surveillance. Okay, and I have to go into this. I have to veer off into why FISA is important. Because FISA is not just a law. It's not just about searching and surveilling your home. It's not just about surveilling your home. FISA is the infrastructure. This is why Congress exempted themselves from two things. Congress exempted themselves from the vaccines because they knew what was in there. They knew it was tag tracking technology in there. And the group of people that are behind this is the same group of people that's behind FISA. And that's a little country in the Middle East that is an ally of the United States. That is the one behind all of this. All of it. We've done the research. We found them. It's them. There is no ifs, ands, or buts. Every time you see someone goes and shoots up, gang rivalry, it's them because it's all coming through the technology via corporations. So FISA is not just warrantless surveillance. FISA is where the programs are kept. FISA is where the programs are run. Those programs are then delineated to your FBI, through your police, through your first responders, through InfraGard, okay? Then it comes down from there. Then it gets local to your local communities. Then it gets to your neighbor, and everyone is being paid as you're being sold. All of this goes back to FISA. The infrastructure of FISA, they don't want warrants because warrants mean you got to open the books and tell us what you're doing. It means that if you come after me, I need to know why you're coming after me, and your docket's got to be open. Under FISA, the dockets are closed.
So,
You following? Go ahead.
Anita, what's that guy's name that created that whole program?
Oh, which one?
Dealing with the FISA thing.
Oh, FISA was
He created the program and they flipped it on him.
Oh no, you're talking about William Binney.
Yes.
No, William Binney is the one who created. Yeah. Well,
he-
not FISA, but he's the one that created
Yeah,
the infrastructure.
exactly.
Yeah.
He's talking. He said they can't get his help no more.
Yeah.
So I think he deals with the
They turned on him.
he's a mathematician. He's all kind of stuff.
Mathematician, yeah, that's
He
Vinny.
built that system up.
Yeah, he built it, yeah. That's
They,
Vinny.
they flipped it on him just like this program we
Yeah.
speaking of with Robert Duncan.
Yeah, they did the same thing.
He helped him build this program that we're speaking about to the people
Yeah.
right now.
That's the voice
But
of
he
God.
didn't know that
Didn't know.
they were going to turn it on the American public.
Yeah, the whole planet. No one is safe.
Oh, that's right.
No
He
one
didn't
is
know.
safe.
That's what he claimed.
Yeah, so let's I want to give the people some basis, right? Some basis before we go into like deep down the rabbit hole. So those are some of the people you need to look at, right? You need to understand brain entrainment. So when the voices come after they clone you, okay? That is clone your senses, clone your brain waves, clone
There
your
you
heart
go.
frequency.
Cloning.
Right, and the most important cloning that they do is central nervous system cloning. None of this can work without cloning your central nervous system. And the way they, the way they clone your central nervous system is this shit. It's right here. This is how they do central nervous system. And I'm gonna say something. All I can say is the worst cloners for CNS, central nervous system cloning, are not androids. That's all I'll say about that. That's all I'll say about that. I'll leave it as that, okay?
You know, they patent the cell phones after the human nervous system, the body.
Yeah.
Because everything that the human body does, the cell phone mimics it. It mimics it. Okay, to use the FaceTime, it's the eyes to the person. This is how we see a human being. So when you pick up an Android, their way of mimicking that is through FaceTime. Okay, they way of mimicking the sound, the audio, the ears of a human is through the speaker of the phone. Their way of mimicking the voice, the speak, the tongue of the person is through the microphone of the phone. It has sensors too. Like it can sense the phone can sense when it's on your body. It's all and then it's a global tracking system too. With this wave, it tracks you no matter where you go. Airplane, get in your car, no matter what. You know, right where you're at. It's because of your nervous system, your frequency.
Yeah, I love where you're going with that because it brings me to just a quick side story about biometrics and cellular devices. We actually were in a group hypnosis with a friend of ours, SOSQHT, Maya. You'll probably know her from Typical Skeptic as well. But she did a group hypnosis where we were off planet and we saw Rob Kal-El was supposed to join us that night, but he fell ill, but just fell asleep. And apparently fell asleep with his phone in contact with him and his step tracker on. Now, during the session, we saw him in what would be called an astral projection. When he woke up during the entire time of the hypnosis, when he was present on the spaceship that we were on, his phone traveled thousands of miles an hour and millions of steps at excessive rates of speed. I'm talking 5,000 to 6,000 miles an hour, right? So his phone tracked his biometrics through the astral. That's how attached these devices are to us.
I want to say that you're telling the truth because I went to a guy who was a Nazi, right? And he worked with the UK Ministry of Defense, dismantling pulling the technology out of people's bodies. But his thing, he was into torture. He was kind of, whatever. But he was the first one, even though he was kind of, he was the first one that tracked after the people took the Satan serum, okay, after they were Satanized, okay, he found that they were emitting Bluetooth in the graveyards after they died. So they were tracking the people's spirits. Then there was another guy who had a Tesla. He was inside of his Tesla, and he passed by a graveyard. And it was a newly built graveyard for all the people who were Satanized, who got Satan's serum, Lucifer's liquid. into their bodies, right? And on the Tesla, this was a newly created graveyard for the liquid Lucifer people. On the Tesla, it was showing people were playing outside of the graveyard, but when he looked up, there was no one there. Okay? So yes, cloning,
Yeah.
and I just listened to a video, and I think this guy is the best guy when it comes to talking about this program. He worked with teaching people about these systems, and I don't like to refer other people to anyone, but he basically said they are tapping into the eighth dimension. And in the eighth dimension is where these entities are, and they're literally, and I call them the archons, they're literally tapping in there, and they're handing us over by putting the technology into your body, handing us over to these entities to be food. And that's basically what's going on, and that is the absolute truth. So this is why the technology mimics demon possession. When a person goes and they shoots up a school, you think, oh my God, they're demon possessed. Why? Because there is literal an entity attachment with this technology to entities in the unseen realm. Okay, and we have the evidence that they are literally tracking people when they die using Bluetooth signals on the other side. So yes, you are absolutely right. Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is very important right here because we need to dispel this. Okay, you hear a lot about the Illuminati, this Illuminati. Oh, Jay-Z is with the Illuminati. P. Diddy is with the Illuminati. The other Illuminati, they with the Illuminati. They always throwing up the sign and all of that. Let's get this straight right now. The Illuminati that they talking about, that they don't know they talking about, is this program. This is it. This is it. Everything they call an Illuminati, they don't even have a clue. This program is it. I don't care what you want to call it in your head, you can call it that. But I'll tell you what the scientists call it that created this program. They call it the voice of God technology. That's what they coined this technology, the voice of God. The man that created it, helped create it, Robert Duncan. He'll tell you firsthand, this is what they coined this technology. So they coined it as the voice of God because they put so much into this technology because they say, okay, there's nothing they can do about it. There's nothing no one can do about it. It's on everybody, the whole public. It's nothing they can't stop it. They write about that. You can't stop it. It never cuts off. 24/7. It just keeps going. It never cuts off. But this technology and its mission statement is what it does. It walks you to your death by any means necessary. That's what this stuff do. It's nothing good about it. Go ahead.
Just wondering, like, I know the higher ups and the higher ups and the higher ups beyond the shadow government have no issue swallowing one another. Do you think they're using this on their own people? Like, let's just throw a hypothetical out. They made Diddy do all the fucked up shit he did. Yeah, like program.
Look, listen. We dealing with a technology that literally sees what you see. Nobody is exempt, not even me, nobody. It's just that the difference between me and a lot of people, I mastered this program, like literally mastered what it does with the nervous system, the point of all the different tortures that it do with the body to try to maintain your attention. Why you sleeping? Why you trying to go to sleep? Why you driving behind the wheel? Everything that this program do, it's a manual. It's a manual. And this manual is massive, and this thing is lightning fast when it perpetrates as your thought pattern. Lightning fast. And to further dove into this a little bit more is, you know, when I was learning this program, they got me a few times with it. They got me good. They got me on one bank robbery. They got me. I did that time for that one, and I came back out, and within 55 days, man, was it, Renita? I had 4 bank robberies that quick, and I had just served 18 years. Yes, I thought I had this program mastered. So look, I said, what do I do now? I came back in. I had to reveal all I knew. We got the transcripts. Renita got the transcripts. I got the transcripts. It took me 6 years. 6 years to get through the federal court with this. The judge said, hey, I said, look, man, this is what started everything right here. Listen good. They took me in for arraignment to arraign me on the 4 bank robberies. They gave me an attorney, and I whispered to the attorney, I said, hey, you need to tell this judge this, and this, and this. She said, what? I can't tell him that. She didn't have a clue. So I asked the court, now I addressed the court. He said, yes. I said, look, there's something that's trying to get me to plead guilty to 4 bank robberies, but it's not me. He said, whoa. He shut it down. He shut it down on the spot. And from that day on, I had became a study case. And they were trying to determine whether or not I was competent, mentally competent enough to assist the attorney and build a defense in a trial for the 4 bank robberies. So like I said, it took me 6 years. We dug up everything, had to investigate everything. We was digging up everything, giving it to the judge. I wrote the torture manual on this. I wrote the torture manual on this whole program. They said, hey, where the hell did you learn this from? The judge said, hey, man, where did you learn this from? Let me ask you some questions. Again, to fast forward, this went on for 6 years. In the final analysis, you know what that judge said? The prosecutor was like, hey, man, we got him dead bang. I was just telling them, I didn't do it. I didn't do it. The program did it. The program did it, not me. In the final analysis, he told the prosecutor, he's like, look, what am I to say that the man has been play acting in my court for 6 years? This is all in the transcript. Am I right or wrong, Renita? He said, this is what I'm going to do. He said, the only thing I don't know about this man during the period, 6-year period of him being a study case is whether or not this man is a danger to himself, a danger to the public, and a danger to other people's property. He said, I think I'm going to send him back to where they've been doing a study on him in Springfield, Missouri, and for them to make the determination on his dangerousness. And if they so find that he's not a danger to himself, to other people's property, and to the public, then release him back to the community. I'm sitting here talking to you firsthand right now, educating the public about what I went through. This is no spoof. It's no joke. You don't just get no federal judge to release a person on 4 bank robberies for no reason at all. But once they let me out, after 5 years, the judge ended up sealing the whole case under federal seal. But I got the transcripts, but the main case, they didn't want it in the law book for you to see, for nobody else to see. It goes through this and had to go through what I went through to be able to walk out like me. So they sealed it. They sealed it. They sealed it and just sealed everything. And I've just been free ever since.
Well, let's talk about something. Let's talk about how the music industry was used to create criminals in the Black community. I think the rock industry is for like the rock industry would be for white people, right? Unless he listens to rap or whatever, right? So, but he doesn't know the rock industry. He knows like the rap industry, right? So let's talk about how the music industry was used to create criminals in the black and Hispanic community, and I guess parts of the white community too.
Okay, so you
Okay,
see this program, you know, I don't like to give it.
I'm sorry,
I don't.
Puffy. What came out recently about Quincy Jones and Puffy have the blueprint of how to create criminals. Go ahead.
So this program builds the people and creates the people who they want to steer the entertainment as far as movie and film and all that. And what this program is so cold. Have you ever heard a song and you say, "Oh, I don't know why I can't get this song out of my head," or "I don't know why I can't get this hook out of my head. This song's been playing in my head all morning. It's just been going." That's what this program do. Forced speech. This program is so fast. It perpetrates at your thought pattern, but it's artificial program. It's so fast that it can actually manipulate somebody to say something that they want them to say. That's called forced speech. Like, have you ever jumped the gun to say something? Oh, I didn't even say that. It just comes out. That's this program. And this thing is no joke. It's no joke.
Let's get to Puffy and
So,
Quincy Jones. Yeah.
So Puffy is a product of this program. Puffy, the program built him and everything that he's acquired and everything that he's done. He don't even have a clue that he's been steered the whole while with this program. And through Puffy is what you see today. Everybody around him, everybody that was involved with what he's doing. This thing is what it is, man. You take anybody that's in. See, let me go back.
Let's get to Puffy. Remember that war between East Coast, West Coast?
Through this program, it's EEG cloning hive mind transhumanism. So when you look at what I just said, and you know what it is, it's just what it is. The hive mind of this program is that they see the American public, the world and the society and the people as like a beehive. And they look at it like everybody needs to be steered. Everybody needs to be led. So, because if they feel that we can't, it take a whole group of people to make a decision. And this is how they look at stuff like the music business and like the Puffy circle and everything. And when you look at it, it's one person making a decision, ain't it? It's him.
Yeah.
It's him. That's why they coined it hive mind, where they put everybody on the same wavelength, to think the same way, to do the same things, and how they start breaking them down is through sexual deviance. This is how you break down the ego. And once this thing breaks your ego, they use somebody like Puffy to do it. People want fame, they want everything, right? All the time, the program is on these young people too that's around it. So they get into these orgies and all of this stuff and stuff it. You film all this stuff and you blackmail people. So you keep them in. And that's what this thing is about. Once you break down the human ego with these devious acts like this, it's a monster. Once you break down the ego, it's a wrap, man. Once you break that ego down, it's like,
Remember in the early
You sell your soul. It's considered you can sell your soul.
remember in the early 2000s with Puffy and Biggie, with Puffy, Biggie, and Tupac, and how they created, they literally used this program to create East Coast, West Coast rivalry,
Listen,
and then literally change the entire young black boy's mind
listen.
into a literal, this was trauma-based. JFK was for Caucasian people, trauma-based mind control. MLK was trauma-based mind control on blacks. You see how it goes? You see how it goes?
Yeah.
You're right on point.
So
You
let's
know
get,
what?
to create the,
I literally, I literally, back in 1997, I literally laid back with my arms folded and watched everything you just brought out your mouth. I said, look at this technology go to work. And I also said, in 1987, they ain't seen nothing yet. They ain't seen nothing yet. And remember, when I discovered this, it was no YouTube, it was no Instagram, it was no Facebook, it was no Google, it was nothing. It was none of that technology. And I learned this in solitary confinement. That's why I learned this at this program. And I kicked back in solitary confinement. And I said, whoa, I seen the first school shooting the Major One Columbine. I said, oh my God, here we go. I said, here we go, and this was 1997. And look at today. How many school shootings has it been since then?
Yeah.
I watched it, man. I watched it all the way to right now as I speak. This technology.
I actually wanted to ask you about that too, because like I know, like as I've become more metaphysically aware and aware of what's going on in programs I'm probably involved in, mine goes back all the way to like public school where there's like abnormal private testing. I got invited to a thinking symposium where I can only remember the bus ride there and the bus ride back, and there's 8 hours missing, right? So I was just wondering, at what point what program did you first get? Right, I was a C student, and all of a sudden I was invited to the provincial thinking symposium, which is like a section of the country. I'm sitting with the smartest kids. My A student sister's sitting at home by herself.
Oh, where was it?
Yeah. Oh, and it was 8 minutes from a military base. Just
you weren't a C student. That one of the things they do is they lower your grade on purpose in order to bring you into the programs. That's one of the things they do.
So I'm gonna go to you, and I'm gonna shoot right back to him. So look, that whole East Coast West Coast thing with Tupac and Biggie and all of that, and all the boom boom back and forth. That was this program. And all you had to do was look how it escalated since then. It's encroached on every segment of the music game. Look at Dolph. Look at all of these people that done died, man. People that should have never died. But you know what? This technology has blood on his hands. Everybody's blood on his hands. But you know who get the B? The people get it. The person that pulled that trigger gets the B. Not this program, the program them to do it. But now I'm gonna go back to him and how you can go from point A to point B and not remember how you got there. You remember how you got there, but you can't remember along the way everything. This is thought blocking.
Yeah.
This is one of the hallmarks of this program. It blocks you. It blocks you. It blocks you. It can give you a thought and take it away. It does it to me all the time. It does it to me in podcasts. That's why I like working with Renita, because she's going to bring me back. She's going to bring me back because it steers you off course. And it blocks you. It's famous for that, man. You got to be conscious of that one. Yeah.
I wanna talk to you about those programs, academic programs, because that's how they got me. But they got me through a sports injury, then threw me in the hospital, and then the next thing I heard was the train alarm